determine whether this function has a maximum value or minimum value. So I said, if your coefficient of x squared, the coefficient of x squared, if it is positive, like the way it is right now, if the coefficient of that, it is positive, that means we are going to have minimum value, because now we have the coefficient of x squared, which is positive. So because of that, we are going to get a minimum value. If this coefficient had a negative, let's say -6, would have said we have a maximum value. So we have determined that this function has a minimum value. In other words, our function will have a curve like this. This function will have a curve that looks like that. Okay? Then the next question that we are going to look at is now find the turning point. Okay, we need to determine the turning point of this curve. At which point did this curve tend? At which point did this curve tend? So for us to find the turning point of this curve, we are going to use two formulas, because a turning point, let's say this, has a coordinate x, y. So we need to find what our x is, or a point in the x-axis, and also a point in the y-axis. So for us to find the point in the x-axis, what we do, we use the formula, say x is equal to negative b over 2a. That's the one we use when finding the turning point. All right, the turning point, or when the formula that we use to determine the x coordinate of the turning point. This is the formula we use to determine the x coordinate of the turning point. Then for the y, for this y, we use the given function. All right, we can simply write this function and say, well, instead of putting f of x, we can simply just write y is equal to 6x squared minus x minus 15. So for this one, we can use it when determining the y coordinate of the turning point. All right, so having done that, we need now to know what is our a, what is our b, and what is our c. Okay, so for our a is the coefficient of x squared. Okay, as the standard equation of a quadratic equation, it is ax squared plus bx plus c, where c is negative 15 and b is negative 1 and a is 6. So our a is 6, our b is negative 1 because we have negative x. So the coefficient of that x is 1, that's why we have 1x. So negative 1x, yeah? So we have negative 1 for b. Then for c we have negative 15. So we want to know the x coordinate